Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Let's go with that. If you can hear me on Facebook and YouTube now, hopefully you can. Maybe I fixed it. All right, sorry everybody. So this is trying to get the audio working here. I hope you can hear me on Facebook and YouTube now. All right, so right now, Northeast Kansas, we have no risk. We have no tornado warnings right now in Northeast Kansas. We have a couple of severe storm warnings. One of those is in Lyon County here. And there's that one. So in Emporia, now the phone's ringing again. I'm going to see if it's somebody that can hear me on line or what. Okay, they're hanging up on me. So maybe it means you can actually hear me. Hopefully you can hear me. I can't answer the phone. All right. There we go. We have severe storm warning that's near Emporia and Olpe. This thing is hail the size of quarters and winds to 60 miles per hour. Looks like the worst of it's staying just south of Emporia at this time. I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. All right, so this storm that's in Dickinson County and Ottawa County, hail the size of quarters, goes till 7:30 p.m. For the rest of Northeast Kansas right now, most of us are fine. There's a severe storm that's just west of Concordia in Jewell and Mitchell counties. This one is hail the size of $0.50 and winds to 50, and the one just to the left of it, or west, this one, the Weather Service says tornado possible. That is my least favorite warning of all, because it's either warn for the tornado or don't, is kind of my thinking on it. So that's what that one says. Again, it's out of the WIBW official viewing area. Now the phone has stopped ringing off the hook, so I assume that means you can actually hear me now. And for that's the first time I've set up the whole thing, the whole stream, this new system we have. So I apologize if you couldn't hear me for a while. I'm pretty sure on the website people could hear me, but on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, on Facebook and YouTube, I don't think anybody can hear me for a few minutes there, but I think you can now. So, all right. Out in western Kansas, we have several storms that are far worse than what's going on over here. The deal is this. We've had a dry line feature that's out in western Kansas, and that's the big difference here. This stuff that's out west, this is all forming on the dry line. Dew points, but these storms, so to the west. There's kind of a discontinuous line. These supercells are forming along the dry line. So to the east of it, we have dew points that are in the upper 60s, low 70s. Very, very humid. To the west of these storms, we have very low humidity, dew points that are in the 30s, even some 20s and teens over in those areas. So it's a big difference in the moisture content. What we have here in northeast Kansas is a warm front, which certainly can set off severe weather, but by far the rougher storms are the stuff that's going on out to the west. Now, we have a new warning now for Clay County for that storm's coming out of Dickinson County. All right, so let me see if I can clear this thing. What do we got going on here? Oh, I know what I did. So on Supercast, the next couple of hours, we will continue to see the storms moving to the north and east. Again, if there's a tornado in this, the risk of a tornado is not great for us in northeast Kansas, thankfully, meaning when I say not great, it's not high. The risk of seeing anything like a tornado is not high in northeast Kansas. By far the higher risk of that kind of stuff is western Kansas this evening. My concern is if the storms that are tornadic out west, if they can stay strong late into the night. My worry is about if we get some of these isolated supercells, if they can continue to rotate past midnight, and then we have people trying to sleep up here with tornado warnings going on. That's my concern. Seeing these storms with winds that are damp, 60 miles per hour, hail the size of quarters along this warm front, that's a problem. But these storms forming right here, these are the dew points. These red lines indicate the dew points at least 60 or higher, and you can see that kind of an axis of the higher values that points kind of at Hill City, and these individual really wild supercells are forming along that feature. Tomorrow, that feature will be right over us. So this evening, the higher end threat is to the west, and for us we have the warm front, which is setting off storms, even some severe storm warnings, but by far the higher risk of more dangerous storms is out in western Kansas. Right now Topeka still has 77 degrees. There are the wind gusts right now, 46 miles per hour there in Concordia. So through the night we're going to continue to see scattered storms, some severe weather at times, heavy rain at times. Some of us will pick up more than an inch of rain by tomorrow morning. So there's that latest warning. I mentioned it, but I didn't go over it. So there's that warning in Clay County now, and the Weather Service is going to take this one until that's not 7:30 p.m., that's the old one. All right, so the new warning there in Clay County, let's zoom in on it and see how far it goes. We're going to take that till 8 p.m. With this one, and that includes areas like Longford, not Clay Center. Clay Center's not quite in this. You're right on the edge of it. And now they're taking the hail size down. It was up to 1.75 inches, so the golf ball size. Now it's ping pong ball size. So that's really, the difference in a ping pong ball and a golf ball is not huge, but that's the difference looking at with this storm is now it's down to ping pong ball size. It's just something to estimate the power and the strength and how dangerous the storm might be. So let's check out the hail on this. And we'll look at the one that's now we have a warning there in Cloud County too. So let's check out the hail on this. I'm going to take the camera off since we're getting into Clay County there. And hail zone. In hail zone, we're seeing this light blue there. The light blue is an inch or maybe a little higher. Once we get this purple, that's when you start to really get into the ping pong ball size and bigger. So this hail has come down in size over the last couple of minutes here. It's probably close to the size of a quarter, maybe a little longer, a little bigger, but you can see there as it was darker blue as it passed by the town of Solomon, and then rolling this thing forward in time as it goes toward Manchester, you can see it kind of losing some of those colors. Now farther to the north, look at that dark area blue, just west of Glasgow, on the western edge of Cloud County. So that hail core is moving into Cloud County, heading toward areas like Concordia. We have a severe storm warning with that. Jewell and Mitchell counties were in this. Let's see the warning now for Cloud and Republic County going until 8 o'clock, it looks like, for hail about the size of a quarter. And we do have the camera there from the folks in Concordia. So there's that view of what it looks like in Concordia right now from the high school. And we'll check out the other view here as well. From the college, from Cloud County Community College, so we can see kind of both views there in Concordia with that severe storm that's coming into town in the next few minutes. I think it'll come up there. All right, there we go. Yep, now we have it. So the storm near Jamestown, Glasgow, winds to 60 miles per hour possible with this. We have the possibility of hail about the size of a $50. The larger hail looks to be closer to Asherville, heading toward Glasgow at this time. Again, that warning going until 8 o'clock. It's a radar indicated storm. And again, I'm going to assume, since I don't have the phone ringing off the hook now, that probably the audio is fixed. My apologies for that. All right, so let's check out the camera there from Clyde County Community College, a little bit bigger. I'm going to make that thing, drag it out here in the middle of the screen, and we'll make it bigger so we can see it a little better here for you. All right, so let's just make the whole thing larger. There you go. And we can see that storm cloud to the southwest of town that's moving toward Concordia. So that's where it is, and it's not a tornado. It's not that kind of storm. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. Again, the stuff that's farther west, closer to the dry line, that's where we have the higher potential for seeing stuff that could be tornadic. And those areas that could be tornadic, that's where we're already seeing it cause problems of that nature. So again, the storms we have right now, one severe storm that's just getting into Emporia now, it looks like, actually. Let's check out the velocity on this and see how strong it is. So this one says 60-mile-per-hour winds, and there's nothing on this that looks particularly suspicious that it's going to produce anything higher than a 60-mile-per-hour wind. So if you're concerned about that kind of thing, I don't see that on here. So there's the view from the west side of Emporia, where the heavy rain is starting to come down now. And we can make that one bigger as well. Just bring it out here in the middle of the screen, and we'll make it a larger image. So that storm, again, has hail the size of quarters most likely, and could also have winds to 60 miles per hour. And there it is. So on the west side of Emporia, that's Industrial Road right here, Highway 50 back this way. Oh, no, I'm looking southwest. That's toward the turnpike over there. So you're looking at where 50 goes over to the turnpike at that spot. So extremely heavy rain there in Emporia right now. You know, that's not a tornado situation. It's just extremely heavy rain that's moving into town. So you know, you're going to see maybe some hail the size of quarters or $50. Let's check out the hail vision and see where the hail might be, if there is hail in this thing. So the hail looks like it's just really close to the airport, as a matter of fact, there on the south side of town, just south of town. And it looks like it's even come down a bit in size. Still just getting into that light blue category, which is just closer to an inch. A few minutes ago, you can see it right there. It's darker blue. That was at 7:19. And roll it forward to now, you got more of a light blue color as making its way up kind of the south side of Emporia. So again, it's a severe storm warning with hail the size of quarters, maybe up to the size of a $50, but it's certainly nothing that's going to be higher end than that. It is not a rotating storm or anything of that means, but you know, it is a severe storm, so certainly stay inside while this thing moves by. So there's a view from downtown as well. You can see the downpour there from the historical center there in downtown, the Lion Historical Center there in downtown Emporia, where you can see that. So again, this is a severe storm. It is not going to be worse than hail the size of $50 or winds to 60 miles per hour. All right, I do want to check out the storm that's in Concordia again. Actually, there's a new one here. There's a new severe storm warning for the folks from Council Grove. That one going until 8 o'clock for Morris and Wabunsee counties. This is for hail the size of quarters and winds to 50 miles per hour. Looks like this is really just kind of right over Council Grove. I'm going to check out the different camera version here. It's just a little easier to grab this one. And again, hail about the size of a quarter and winds that are less than 50 miles per hour, as the Weather Service is saying. You can hardly see from that camera right now. This is looking to the southwest. Really, that's the worst part of the storm that's moving into Council Grove right now. So in Council Grove, that's what you've got, is the severe storm warning at this point. And it is producing hail the size of about a quarter, and it could produce winds as high as 50 miles per hour. They're not even saying 60 mile per hour winds with this. So this is looking from near Maple Hill to the southwest toward that storm. So again, folks in Wabunsee County, you have a severe storm warning till 8. For the southwest part of the county, and from Council Grove to the northeast, you're in the severe storm warning till 8 as well. And that's kind of the worst of it right there. It looks like it right there in Council Grove at this time, with those winds gusting 50 miles per hour close to it, and a hail about the size of a quarter possible. In Concordia, this is the view there. And you can see the trees outside of Cloud County Community College getting a workout right now with the strong winds that are moving in. You'll probably have at least some wind damage with this. So at Cloud County Community College, that's the view right now with a severe storm warning and a severe storm that's moving into Concordia. I'm going to turn the camera around there a little bit and see what we can see. So again, there's the kind of the leading edge of it. I'm not sure if that's you classify as a shelf cloud or not, but you certainly can see the birds not happy. Looking to the west there across the college and to the northwest there. So again, the severe storm moving into Concordia in the next couple of moments here, and that's going to bring winds to probably 60 miles per hour, at least close to it, and some hail the size of a quarter is a possibility. This storm that's over in Council Grove is really producing extreme rain. There's some lightning there from that camera in Concordia at this time as well. All right, let's check out the view here from the folks in Council Grove. And again, severe storm warning there in Council Grove as well. You easily have winds gusting 60 miles per hour close to it from what I can see there on the camera, and hail about the size of a $50, maybe a quarter. But again, that's the view from the west side of Council Grove, with this really the worst part of that right over town, and then moving to the northeast into the southwest part of Wabaunsee County. So the amazing thing is this is the warm front. This is not the most powerful part of the storm system at all. And we have 4 different warnings now in the WIBW viewing area. Each one of these could produce at least some damage, but the dry line and the really wild stuff is farther out in western Kansas. This thing right here, for example, I believe that's a confirmed tornado now. Let's look at that one closely. And I believe that's going to be a confirmed tornado. It might even be a large tornado. So let's see what's going on with this one. Yeah, a considerable observed. And let's check out the details on this. And again, this is not in the WIBW viewing area. That's why I'm not, on TV eating up live TV programming right now, because this thing is not in the WIBW coverage area. So considerable observed tornado. I'm going to read the details on this and see what it says. And again, that's near the towns of Orange and Wayne, Kansas. And the Weather Service says, confirmed dangerous tornado located 2 miles northwest of Lewis, moving northeast 25. They call it a particularly dangerous situation. Damaging tornado, broadcast media confirmed, near Lewis and Garfield around 7:45 p.m. Let's check out the velocity on this thing and see how bad it is. And there you go. So that has plenty of spin on it, no doubt. We'll take it back in time and go forward a little bit here. And there's the rotation on it a few minutes ago near the town of Kinsley. Let's go forward just a little bit there. Now you can really see the rotation. This is going to be it right there at 7:28 p.m. And if I bring it forward a little bit, to clear that, bring it forward in time to where it is now, and you're getting up, it's getting closer to the town of Wayne and Orange. Those other locations that it has listed on here don't show up in my system, but again, that's not in northeast Kansas, so it's not an area that we typically cover. Just letting you know about it. It's just north of the town of Kinsley, that part of the state. So confirmed tornado out there in western Kansas. Big storm near Hayes. Another big storm there near, what town is this one going to be? Near Kenneth and Moreland. And then this is a tornado warning all the way up in the northwest corner of the state, north of the town of St. Francis. So again, those storms to the west are along the dry line feature, which is by far the most dangerous thing that's going here. The storms we have are along what's called a warm front, and the warm front certainly can produce severe weather. It is far less likely to produce tornadoes. A concern I have is if you're at home, if you're looking at your social media feed and you're hearing on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or wherever, oh my gosh, big old tornadoes in western Kansas, and you look out your window and you see these thunderstorms here, I don't want anybody here to think that, that's the kind of stuff that we've got going on. If we were to see something tornadic around here, it's probably close to midnight, and it'll be associated with those same storms in western Kansas right now. So, I plan to be here until at least 2 in the morning, just watching the remnants of those storms, because once they start spinning, A lot of times they tend to stay bad. So, we're going to watch those late tonight here, after 13 News at 10. And that newscast is going to be on a few minutes late because golf ran a few minutes long. So 13 News at 10 starts a few minutes late, and then I'll be here extra late tonight to talk to you and let you know what's going on. I'll make sure the audio is all working. I think I've got it figured out now. All right, so there we go. Looking from Emporia, now we've got a severe storm warning. It gets into Osage County and into parts of Coffee County as well. So let's change the camera over there and put it on to the one from Emporia. Yeah, I can just do it this way. All right, there you go. There's the Emporia on the west side of town. And this thing now, Weather Service saying that they've got hail the size of quarters and winds to 60 miles per hour. Again, Lyon County, part of this. We've got the severe storm warning getting into Osage and Coffee County. So let's see the details on that. If I drag it over here, if it'll give me the other details. There we go. All right, Lyon, Coffee, and Osage. And it's still quarter-size hail and winds to 60 miles per hour. So again, we don't have any sort of tornado warnings in northeast Kansas. If we do get a tornado warning in here, I'll jump on TV and interrupt somebody's favorite programming right away, of course. But right now, this is going to be your view from I-35 and Burlingame Road in Emporia. You can see the strong winds there and the heavy rain. I can see at least a mile there. So the rain's not as heavy as it could be. There's the bridge over Neosho River at I-35, and there's mile marker 135. The rain pretty heavy there as well. Right along I-35, just east of Emporia. I wouldn't want to travel that right now. If you do have to drive that way, I would wait a few minutes until this storm moves by. Again, it's not a tornado situation, but you just don't want to drive through something like that. Hydroplaning itself is bad enough. And just watching out for other drivers, of course. But that storm that's getting into Osage County has a hail the size of quarters and winds to about 60 miles per hour. Looks to be the threat there. From the Council Grove area, this storm getting into Wabaunsee County, the indications there for the Weather Service, they're still saying winds to 50 miles per hour and hail the size of a quarter. So let's check out the hail on this dude as it's making its way to the southwest part of Wabaunsee County with the worst of it. And the hail's not as big as it was. And we'll check out the view from Council Grove as things are probably starting to calm down there a bit now. Yeah, a moment ago you couldn't see more than a quarter of a mile from that camera, and now you can see pretty easily. At least looks probably 5 miles from that at this point. So the conditions have improved there in Council Grove now that the storm has moved by, and that camera is the folks from TCT Broadband. Install that one. There's Council Grove Lake. And let's turn this around. You can see the severe storm there as it's moving off into Wabaunsee County. And still severe. Again, they're saying winds to 50 miles per hour and hail the size of quarters. I'm going to try to get my camera that's over there in Maple Hill turned that way. That's the view from Maple Hill. Near Maple Hill from the WIBW transmission site toward that same storm. All right, so this storm right here, getting close to Clay County now, coming out of Dickinson County into parts of Clay County. This one has hail the size of ping pong balls possible, and also winds to 60 miles per hour. So around Longford, you are right there by the biggest of the hail most likely. Manchester, you're going to be dealing with some hail from this probably as well. And again, this is not a storm that's going to produce a tornado or anything like that. This is just going to be one that's got very heavy rain, probably some winds gusting to 60, and the hail is not even looking to be as big as it was. So the hail's come down in size there as it moves into Clay County. So if you're there around Clay Center, that storm looks like it's actually losing some of its intensity as it gets closer to you. In Concordia, you still have a severe storm warning. Looks like they're going with a hail up the size of a ping pong ball at this point, and that's certainly a possibility. So if you're there around Concordia, certainly you want to stay inside while this thing passes by. It looks like the hail core to that is to the northwest of Concordia. We'll bring this up on hail zone right there, and the area of the darker blue, just north of Jamestown, as a matter of fact. So just northwest of Concordia looks like the biggest of the hail with this. So maybe the worst part of that will just go right around folks there in Concordia. You certainly have some strong winds coming through town. And let's check out the live camera there. The darkest cloud certainly is that direction as well. So let's check it out. This is how it looks from Cloud County Community College, looking north toward the water tower there. And you can see the darker part of that storm cloud certainly moving to the north of Concordia. I'll bring up another view here. This bottom image is going to be from Concordia High School. There is what that is. So you can see the heavy rain there. But again, that storm's not a high-end severe storm. It has hail the size of ping pong balls, getting close to Norway and just north of Jamestown at this time. And again, winds to 60 miles per hour possibility with this as well. All right, so zooming back out, we've got the line of severe storms now across northeast Kansas. The one confirmed tornado is out in the southwest part of the state. So the stuff we're dealing with so far has really been things like hail the size of quarters, winds to 60 miles per hour, and those kind of things are certainly inconvenient, but it's not the stuff that's going to tear down a structure or something like that. I haven't seen any sort of winds even close. We're not seeing winds close to 70 or anything of that kind of nature. All right, so I'm going to look around and see if we have any of your pictures coming in here as well. And if you have pictures, of course, you can submit them to WIBW.com to the weather page. Just go to the weather pics section. Just a picture from Leroy. Some heavy rain there, so nothing too wild just yet. All right, so Council Grove, again, you still have a severe storm warning in place for hail the size of quarters, but that warning will be cropped off in a moment, I'm pretty sure. The folks in Council Grove, you are not in the threat of hail at this point, and the winds to 60 or 50, I believe, are even north of Council Grove. So the strongest part of that storm is now in Wabaunsee County. So Council Grove, you're in the severe storm warning still technically, but you're likely to be removed from that here in the next few moments as they probably adjust that one. Up to the north here, we have hail about the size of $50 as a possibility with this storm, and that's for Clay and Dickinson County. And the Weather Service is saying on this one at 7:48 p.m., just a few moments ago, they have a storm near Longford moving northeast 25. $50 size hail, radar indicated. We'll check the velocity on this and just see if it's doing anything dangerous. And there is some spin to it, but I don't think that's in the right area that we'd be super worried if we saw spin. So we'll keep an eye on that one just in case, but what rotation is in there is not particularly strong. All right, so getting back into Concordia again here, we have the severe storm warning with hail about the size of $50, or a ping pong ball actually. And it looked like it was north of Jamestown a moment ago. Let's see if it's still in that same area. The biggest hail core is still going north toward Norway, but in Concordia, you may have some small hail arriving in the next few moments. That's a possibility. So again, a severe storm warning continuing there around Concordia, and there's the lightning you can see there just north of town from the camera. All right, got an update here from KDOT a few minutes ago. They say that I-70 closed at Hayes. What do they say? Closed at Hayes, Colby. Westbound I-70 closed at Hayes. Eastbound I-70 closed. Okay. So in western Kansas, probably something with the tornadoes. I am not sure, but it could even be for blowing dust, as a matter of fact. So there you go. There's Hayes right there. And they have a severe storm with potential, and got that white stripe there, which means tornado possible in a warning like this. So I'm going to bring that up, and we will go ahead and check out what they've got on on the CanDrive website here for this thing as it's moving through there. So again, that is in western Kansas, but let's go ahead and check it out. So they say that I-70 is closed. Let's check out incidents here. This is the CanDrive website that you can check out as well, and you can see it in that small window I've got there. So they are saying that I-70 is closed from Hayes to Colby. So we've had a couple of severe storms go across there, and several tornado warnings go across there as well. The Grainfield camera has not been on for a while. That's Waukene with huge raindrops, it looks like, just east of Waukene there. That's the Ellis exit. It really looks like the worst of it should be in between those two locations, in between Ellis and Waukene. That even might be some hailstones falling there at the Waukene West exit. So, all right, so that's the wild. That's one of the wild storms. We'd had one with a tornado confirmed as well. This storm right here, and that is, as I mentioned, a confirmed tornado. Check out the velocity on this. So this one has done some damage, and they were calling this one one of these particularly dangerous situations, a PDS, tornado warning. The next level up was when they go with tornado emergency. If you hear tornado emergency and your town is mentioned, run for shelter. You know, don't figure out what you need to take with you. You just, if you get a tornado emergency in your town or your neighborhood or area is mentioned, run. That means a very large tornado in most cases. And it means that they think people are going to be hurt badly. So tornado emergency generally means a highly populated area or populated area and a big tornado that's very likely to cause you know, injuries or loss of life. So that one is confirmed tornado for the area in Pawnee County. And again, that's not the WIBW viewing area. If it was, this is Kwich. Kwich would be covering this. Ross Jansen, Peyton Sanders is down there. A great team of folks. They're part of our, you know, we're part of the same family. We're Gray Communications works with both of us. So, but that area is where that tornado warning is, where that confirmed tornado warning is. 749, they said, located near Garfield, moving northeast at 20, damaging tornado and golf ball size hail. And they're saying it's a large tornado right now, and people there should take shelter immediately. So if anybody know anybody around Garfield, Kansas, you know, call them and let them know they need to take shelter right now. So that's a confirmed tornado out there in Pawnee County, Kansas. So around here, again, we're still not looking at any confirmed tornadoes. Don't have any tornado warnings. If we had a tornado warning, I'd break in on TV and eat up everybody's favorite show as needed. But right now, these things are kind of low-end severe storm warnings. For a severe storm to be a severe storm warning, you have to have winds of 58 miles per hour. That's 55 knots, 58 miles per hour. That's why that number is what it is. Generally, they just put them out with 60 miles per hour as the warning. Hail the size of a quarter. Those two things make it a severe storm warning. So look at this. We've got the storm right here moving into Osage County and the northwest part of Coffee County and the eastern part of Lyon County. And it is the bottom end of severe storm warning. So I'm not saying that's a great thing, but you know, that's not tornado or something that's going to you know, cause an amazing amount of damage. Check out the velocity mode here on this storm, and you know, there's very little in there that's indicating any sort of spin at all. So that's great news. This storm is not spinning in any. I mean, they're all spinning at least a little bit, but this one, you know, is about as close to not spinning as you get. So that storm is not going to be something that we have to lean forward on and be super concerned about. Just stay inside there if you're in Osage County or the northwest corner of Coffee County. It's not even, most of Coffee County is fine. If you're in Burlington, for example, you are not in that severe storm warning at all. But it's in the northwest corner of the county and then moving into Osage County, of course. So looking there east across Emporia, you can see the very heavy rain from that storm. And again, it's kind of the entry-level severe storm warning, if you will. So around Reading, you're in this. Lebo is in this. Neosho Rapids is in this. Let's check out where the biggest hail might be. It was not all that large in the first place. So there you go. That area of gray is probably less than the size of a penny. So the hail was bigger as it came across the southeast side of town a few minutes ago of Emporia. And as it hit I-35, it kind of has fallen apart. So that's great news. Looks like the storm, as it moves into Osage County and Coffee County, probably losing its intensity. Up here, this is a different story. Concordia, a minute ago, it looked like you were dodging the hail. And now you have a new hail core that's just developed north of Glasgow and is heading toward Concordia. So if you're in Concordia, heads up, you've got some hail coming your way now. And the hail could be the size of quarters, maybe a bit bigger from what I'm looking at there on the live hail tracker. All right, so we'll turn this around and look to the west. You can see those low clouds. The trees have been swinging around in the wind pretty vigorously for the last hour or so there in Concordia. You can see how fast those clouds are moving too. My goodness. Those are very fast moving storms. Very low clouds there. And this is not, you see things like this. Sometimes they're called scud clouds. Sometimes they're called SLCs for scary looking clouds, which is, just meteorology nerds, making fun of it basically. But that's not a tornado or something. So please don't think that. But there is some hail in there that's just about to move into Concordia in the next few minutes. And you do have a severe storm warning there in town. So that is the warning there for hail the size of golf balls now. Okay, so golf ball size hail possible for Concordia. And we'll bring back up the view there. There's a view from the high school at Concordia right now. And we'll bring back the hail, because the hail is going to be the big deal here. If you're in Concordia, be ready for hail about the size of a golf ball. It may move just to the north of town, but if you're in Concordia, be ready for hail about the size of golf balls. That's a real possibility for you right now. Check that again. So 60-mile-per-hour winds, hail the size of golf balls possible, and the hail zone shows it's just to the southwest of town, but the Ville, which really tracks where it is at this moment, shows to be kind of northwest of town. So Concordia, I think this biggest hail has just missed you to the west, thankfully. That's really close though. You don't want golf ball size hail, and I think that funky looking low cloud that we were looking at a moment ago was probably where the hail is falling, right there. As look to the west from Clyde County Community College, I believe that's the hail falling right over there, just over the horizon. So in Concordia, again, you have a severe storm warning. I really think the biggest hail is this area of white right there. It's just about to go across Highway 81, just north of town is how it looks right now. So again, hail about the size of a golf ball. That can cause a lot of damage. All right, so there we go. That's going to be the view from Concordia at the college. This will be the view from the high school there in Concordia. Junior, senior high school. Again, hail about the size of golf balls there. Take a moment for my camera there to load. Yeah, there, look at that. So this one, look how dark that is now, man. So that's looking from Concordia, from Clyde County Community College right here. And this one, you can see that dark cloud. That's this hail. And I really believe that's just northwest of town. So if you're in Concordia and you plan to drive north on Highway 81, don't. You need to not do that right now. It's not a tornado, but it is hail. About the size of golf balls. That area of white is going to be ping-ponged golf ball size hail and winds of 60 miles per hour. I really think the worst part of this is going to stay just north of Concordia, but no doubt there's big hail in that now, and it's going to go right across Highway 81 just north of town. Let's loop this and see the motion on that thing. So there it is. You can see in the last couple of frames here where the white kind of expanded as the storms kind of, a couple of them fell apart and a new one kind of forming out of that energy. But it's going to go right across Highway 81 there, just east of Norway is how it looks. All right, so I want to check out, I believe we have the, yeah, that camera from KDOT right here is closer to Belleville. That may be too far north. Yeah, that's too far north, but I'll have the Belleville camera as well there in a few minutes when it gets up that far. But now I'm going to go back over to, we'll go back to the one in Concordia there. All right, so that's how it looks in Concordia again from Clyde County Community College and from the high school as well. So in Concordia itself, I really think the hail has just missed you, has just gone around town, at least the biggest of it. But Highway 81 just north of Concordia, I really believe we're about to have a lot of hail dumping there on the highway. So if you or anybody you know is about to go that way, I would encourage them or you not to go that way at this moment. All right, so a couple of hail cores there. None of these are as impressive as the one that is near Concordia at this point. The storm down south, we're going to go to the one that's in Lyon County, Osage County, and Coffee County, and go back up the line here again. So this one, they're still saying winds to 60 and hail the size of quarters possibility. They cropped Emporia out of the warning, and the warning goes till 8:15 p.m. So we've got about 12 more minutes on this for that warning. So that storm again, from what I saw on the hail a moment ago, it looked like this was losing some of its intensity. So again, there's the view looking east from Emporia, and then we'll look from downtown Emporia as well, where it was raining heavily a moment ago. So that's from the Lyon County Historical Center there, downtown Emporia. So things have calmed down there, but along I-35, that's where it looks like the conditions are going to be more of a problem at this point. So we'll check that out. We'll follow the KDOT cameras down I-35 to the east from town there, from Emporia, and see how rough this looks. So that's I-35. It's going to be at mile marker 135. Once I take that one off, there you go. So that's Can Drive, and you can see the big rig over there is kind of taking a break. Just over here looks like he's taking a break, probably staying out of the storm, which certainly is a good idea. Let's try to take this a little farther to the west, and that's from a few minutes ago, I think. That's 1940. Yeah, that's been a little while. There's exit 130. And you can see the winds there, and at Beto, exit 151. So again, that's the severe storm. And that is not, it's not rotating, it's not a tornado, it's nothing like that, but it's a severe storm. And again, if you're just driving on I-35 east of Emporia, that's not going to be fun to deal with. So if you don't have to travel that way right now between Lebo and Emporia on I-35, you know, I would just avoid that if you could. For a while. All right, let's go back up to the north and see how these other storms are looking. So we've got the severe storms, one that's in Clay County, and the other one is in Cloud County. So this one in Clay County does include Clay Center now. This one, they are saying, has hail about the size of a ping pong ball, and that area of dark purple is most likely going to be the worst of the hail. And I'm going to bring up the hail zone here. It'll be a bright white color most likely. There you go. So your hail core is straight south of Clay Center at this point, right there. And again, winds to 60 miles per hour and hail the size of ping pong balls are a possibility with this one, going kind of right between Clay Center and Wakefield. That is the worst of this one. And you know, hail the size of a ping pong ball right there on Highway 15. And moving to the northeast, let's see, we've got 12th Road there. So, and it's just to the southeast of that 4 Mile School. Yeah, 4 Mile School, I'm not sure if that's really a school there or not, but that's listed there. So going to move northeast, and it might go just east of Clay Center. So if you're in Clay Center or Leonardville, and you plan to travel the next few minutes, If you're going to travel from Leonardville over toward Clay Center or going the other way on Highway 24, I'd wait a half hour to do that. You're going to have a hail core, hail about the size of ping pong balls, maybe quarters, going right across that highway in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. So that warning for Riley, Dickinson, Clay County. If your weather radio or your apps or whatever were screeching for a severe storm warning in Riley County, if you're around Manhattan or other areas, you're not in this. It's just really this area around Leonardville that's included in that warning. So it's not the whole county, it's just that sliver of the county that's involved in this. All right, so back up to Concordia. Let's check this out again. We have a hail the size of golf balls is a possibility with this one. And I'm going to bring up the view there from Clyde County Community College again, and most likely we'll be able to see that super dark cloud. I'll have to turn the camera again. I'm going to need to turn it to the right. So there you go. There's the severe storm and the extremely dark clouds right over. Yeah, you can see the hail there. Wow, that is a nasty storm. So there's the water tower on the left side of the image there. And I can also bring up Concordia High School here. That's the other image here. But that biggest hail looks like it's going right across Highway 81, right at the Republic and Cloud County line. So about the size of a golf ball is how big that hail is going to be. And I'll bring up the other camera big here for you. You can really see some wild motion in that storm over here. Here on the left side of the screen here. You know, and I'm not saying this is tornadic, I'm not saying anything like that, but when you see things like this, just really dynamic motion under this storm. The big hail is going to be right over here in this area, and that hail again is about the size of a golf ball as moving just north of Concordia. So if you're in Concordia, I strongly recommend don't travel north on Highway 81 right now. You know, unless you want to get into some hail that big. You just saw a strike of lightning in the other monitor here. I'm not sure if that one's ahead of this one or not, but that was really wild. Okay, so just don't travel north of Concordia on Highway 81 between Belleville and Concordia for the next 30 minutes. I would not go on that highway right now. That hail core is pretty obvious there on this. So just right at the Republic and Cloud County line, I would not travel through there. This is not a tornado situation. I don't want to scare you like that. I'm just saying that, you know, your new Lamborghini or your 1989 Ford Festiva, I had one of those. Whatever it is, if you drive it between Belleville and Concordia on Highway 81 over the next 20 minutes or so, you are going to be driving through a damaging storm. Again, winds to 60 is what the Weather Service is mentioning here. With that really wild looking, there's more of that crazy lightning there, really amazing. There it is, I can see it. The wind in this does not look extraordinary to me, but you know, there's something to be careful of. All right, here's the other storm, the one that's got hail about the size of ping pong balls. And the worst of that storm was going across Highway 15, or was going to go across Highway 15. Let's check it out again here. All right, so we'll take off that camera because it's not there. All right, just northwest of Wakefield. This is still going between Clay Center and Wakefield, the worst of it. There's Highway 15. The worst of the hail has now crossed Highway 15 and is heading for, I think that's 24. Yeah, 24. So in the next 5 minutes here, you're going to have hail the size of ping pong balls or close to it going across Highway 24 between Clay Center and Leonardville. So again, you're being advised here. I'm advising you. I would not drive between Clay Center and Leonardville right now. If you're in one of those two towns, stay where you're at. You've got a severe storm that's going to go right between these two towns most likely, with hail about the size of quarters, maybe as big as ping pong balls. Winds could be 60 miles per hour. It is not a tornado situation. I don't want to scare you, but you know, again, if you don't want to drive through hail the size of a ping pong ball, then I would just not drive down Highway 24 between Leonardville and Clay Center for a little bit. All right, this storm down south near Emporia is becoming much, much less intense at this point. So near Lebo, that hail might be the size of a pea. I don't think it's even that big now. And the winds in here, if they're 60 miles per hour, that would be impressive. So that storm that's getting in, it's Lyon County, certainly I don't see a lot of danger now. The southwest part of Osage County, maybe wind gusts of 50 or 60. So we'll focus on these two dudes up here. This thing moving into Republic County now and the one in Clay County. And let's check out western Kansas and see how these tornadoes are looking at this point. One tornado warning there, still Pawnee County. It was confirmed earlier. Now it's radar indicated. There's a tornado warning in southwest Nebraska. And let's check out if anybody in Oklahoma or Texas is dealing with anything too crazy right now. No. Oh, there we go. There's one just west of Dallas. It's a confirmed tornado and what looks like a destructive severe storm warning. So I'm going to see if I can bring this up for you and just see what we've got going on down there quickly. And I won't venture out of our area too often like this, just once in a while. All right, so we've got a confirmed tornado there. And I'm going to take off that local image there. And let's go to the details on this. There you go. So confirmed tornado in the town of Lipan, Texas, maybe. And I'll read you the details on this thing real quick, and then we'll go back to Concordia and to just southeast of Clay Center. All right, details on this thing down. This is down in Texas. This is not here. If this was anywhere near us, I'd be on TV, suspenders out, eyes bugged out, saying, crouched knees, take shelter. This is not here. This is in Texas. So this is a confirmed tornado, and Weather Service says it's near Santo, Texas, I believe. 17 miles south of Mineral Wells, moving east at 25. 2-inch diameter hail and a confirmed tornado. All right, tornado on the ground there. All right, so that's what they've got there in Texas. That's just the, they also had a significant or a damaging tag on their severe storm warning there. Let's check that out real quick too, just for curiosity. What do we have on that? All right, so we've got winds on this thing that are, baseball size hail. That's the problem with it. Baseball size hail and a confirmed tornado. So that's what that one's doing right now. All right, so close to home again. Let's go back and see what we have in our backyard. In Concordia, the severe storm is now north of town. So if you're in Concordia, the biggest hail from this is almost surely just north of you. And you're going to see a lot of lightning. You can really see that hail core just to the north of town. And just looking out the window from the camera, you can see it real well. So the worst of this hail right now is right there on top of Highway 81. And what do we have here? That's Highway 148, the crossroad right there. So at the where Highway 81 and 148 meet up, that's right where the hail is located at this point. I can loop that, and you can see that hail core as it moved just north of Concordia. So in Concordia, you really just dodged this thing, thankfully. So again, that storm with all the big hail, and now you can see it kind of drifting a little farther to the northeast. There's the wild lightning again. So in Concordia, you're still in the severe storm warning at this point officially. I don't think they've dropped it yet, but they'll adjust it at some point in the next few minutes. Okay, so new update here for this storm that's in Clay County. And let's get the details on this one. So the Weather Service just put an update out on this one. Here's the update. 1 minute ago, they say, severe storm warning remains in effect until 8:45. Storm located 5 miles southeast of Clay Center, moving northeast at 35. Golf ball size hail. So the hail came up, and they say reported 7 miles west of Wakefield. So, if you, again, as I mentioned, I would not drive between Leonardville and Clay Center over the next half hour or so as that storm moves by. It has hail now the size of golf balls. A few minutes ago, it was ping pong ball size. and now it is a golf ball size. And the report, we'll check out the reports map here, and you're going to see the hail icon should come up here now since it's an observed report. Is it there? Well, maybe they don't have it on there yet. Okay. Here we go. All right, they haven't put it on the map yet. But again, we had hail the size of golf balls reported there just a few minutes ago, just southeast of Clay Center. There it is. There's a wind report now that popped on. That's a different one. So wind there of 60 miles per hour is what that's going to be. All right. So there you go. The biggest of that hail now is going to be southeast of Clay Center and kind of north of the town of Wakefield. So if you're in that area, again, I wouldn't travel between Leonardville and Clay Center the next few minutes. There's the hail core, that big area of white. That's hail about the size of golf balls. Confirmed a few minutes ago, south of Clay Center. We had winds around 60 miles per hour as well from this just a few minutes ago. So if you're in the if you're Leonardville, you have a higher chance of seeing the hail affect you. I don't think the hail will get to Clay Center. It'll probably stay just east of town, but certainly the hail core is going to go right down Highway 24 or across Highway 24 between Leonardville and Clay Center. So golf ball size hail with that one. This storm, now the hail has come down some. Look at that. A moment ago we had that bright white color, and now it's come down significantly. So right there as it got to Highway 81, the hail core on this has come down a bit. So you're seeing that 1.75 showing up. Let's see if that's because it's from a different radar. If I pan this, it may grab it off the radar from Hastings, Nebraska. So I want to see which one actually makes it worse. Sometimes this will go to one radar or the other, and I want to make sure of which one it's actually grabbing here. Okay, so that's right. So the hail core in this one is coming down some. This thing that's just north Concordia, getting close to Belleville at this point, the hail core on that one is not looking as nasty as it was just a few minutes ago, fortunately. All right. There's the camera from Belleville from Can Drive. They have it zoomed in. It was zoomed in on the road. Hopefully they'll zoom that back out at some point, but that's clearly not one that's causing a whole lot of problem at this moment. All right, let's just go back to the Concordia view there. So you can see the severe storm just north Concordia, and again, that's losing its intensity as it makes its way farther north into Republic County. It's not as wild as it was. The storm down south that was in Osage County and Coffee County and Lyon, this is no longer considered severe. So good news there. That one's no longer severe. This one's weakening. This north Concordia as it moves into Republic County. So that one's heading in the right direction. That one's weakening. The one that is just to the east of Clay Center now, that storm was intensifying, and now look at this. Now it doesn't have the white either. It looks like it's probably losing its intensity as well. So I still would not travel down Highway 24 between Leonardville and Clay Center with this thing. And again, this is not a tornado. It's no chance of that. So I'm just letting you know. So what we're seeing there is hail that was about the size of golf balls just a few minutes ago, and now we see that color coming back down to the darker reds. That means the hail is smaller. So the next report we get from this, and the Weather Service updates that, they're not going to be mentioning hail the size of quarters of golf balls anymore. All right, I want to check the whole state here and see what our trend is, because my big worry here, by far my biggest worry here has been these storms out to the west. This stuff. This is along the dry line feature. My concern has been if these storms stay strong and the dry line brings them into here late tonight, they could stay tornadic late. So if you looked at the Storm Prediction Center outlook, which a lot of people do now, if you're looking at that and you saw the tornado risk, you would see the tornado risk dropped off from 10% or 15% hatched up to here, and then it dropped off to like 5 and not hatched in our area. It's because as the sun sets, you can see the position of these. So as the sun sets, there's less heat energy to keep these things rolling. So the likelihood is these things will weaken before we have any of those tornadoes come up here. So that's what looks like is going to happen here. So that's what I'm hoping for. We're also seeing the severe storms that we have in progress weakening. So that's great as well. The storms we have in place right now in northeast Kansas actually formed along the warm front is what this is, and it can set off tornadoes sometimes, but it's not as common. So the stuff that's up here right now is getting closer to entry-level severe weather instead of being the higher end stuff. And we haven't had anything too wild today. Golf ball size hail just southeast of Clay Center looks like the biggest thing that we've had reported so far. I haven't seen any really big wind gusts reported. And again, this storm that's now moving out of Cloud County and just into Republic County, that hail is almost surely less than quarter size this time. Let's check hail zone and see what it's estimating here. Yeah, there you go. So it still has some blue in it that may be the size of a quarter. You can see right there when it was much bigger, that was when it was golf ball size. Then it gets to Highway 81 and kind of falls apart. And now it's pulsing up a little bit as it gets over toward Elk Creek. So that storm's not as bad as it was, not even close. The storm that's just north of Wakefield had some dark blue. It produced golf ball size hail. We had reports of that. And then now it's weakening. So that storm also is showing some signs of improving, becoming less bad. All right, so now the thing we will have to worry about is tomorrow. These storms will continue. We'll continue with this batch of thunderstorms moving through this evening and tonight. And I would not be surprised to see more severe storm warnings issued across the area. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I do not think we'll have any tornado warnings in our area tonight, thankfully. I really don't. But we're going to have to look at the tornado risk for tomorrow, because the same dry line that's set up over here in western Kansas today and created the wild storms over there, that dry line is expected to be in northeast Kansas tomorrow in the middle of the afternoon. So we'll see storms firing up here, and the risk of seeing tornadoes will be significant across our area. We are going to have to watch for that very closely tomorrow. So tomorrow's back to work for a lot of folks on Monday, of course. So be aware that tomorrow, mid-afternoon into the evening, we will have a significant risk of seeing tornadoes in our area. That's something we're going to have to be concerned about. Right now, the stuff we have across northeast Kansas is weakening. Now, we'll still see severe storm warnings on and off through the evening. That wouldn't surprise me at all. We could even see somebody with hail the size of a ping pong ball. That could still happen. But this thing that's in Clay County, for example, in the western part of Riley County, that storm is still showing signs that it's weakening. Look at the hail size here on this as well. It pulsed up a little bit more. Maybe we're back up to ping pong ball size near just west of Leonardville as it crosses Highway 24 in the next few minutes here. So again, that storm's not a tornado risk. No sort of tornado risk. No way. All right, so that thing's still going to bring some hail along Highway 24 just between Leonardville and Clay Center. To the north, this is a new severe storm warning that goes from Republic County into the northwest part of Washington County. And that storm is going to be, let's see what they got on the new warning here. They're saying half dollar size hail, warning till 9, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible, and hail 1.25 inches diameter. So 1.25 inches, that's about the size of a $half. So quarter-size hail is 1 inch diameter. $half size hail is about 1.25. Ping pong ball size hail is 1.5. Golf ball is 1.75. So you've got hail about the size of a $half just southwest of Cuba and moving toward areas like maybe toward Haddam, probably a bit farther north than that. It's been tracking more north-northeast than it has been northeast. Let's check out the motion on this. Is that a new warning as well? There's a new warning over here too. So they've got a new warning here in Pottawatomie County and Riley, Clay, and Marshall. And they're going to go with hail up to 1.5 inches diameter until 9 p.m. for this guy. So again, this is one of those situations where if you're in Manhattan, a lot of people are, if you're in Manhattan or Fort Riley, or around Fort Riley, the Ogden area, if you're having your weather radio screeching, the warning, this severe storm warning, does not affect you around Manhattan. It's well north of you. So you may be hearing some rumbles of thunder around Manhattan, but the severe storm part of this is up to the north. It is not going toward Manhattan or toward Fort Riley or toward Ogden. None of you guys are going to be dealing with that storm. It is well north of you and heading farther away from folks there in Manhattan and Fort Riley. So that storm is not a problem for you guys in that area. So there's an update for this storm as well right here. I'm going to read the details on this one. So that first box that expires in a few minutes was flashing there for me. 8:15 they mentioned, 8:14 they mentioned. Storm 5 miles southeast of Clay Center. That's a while ago. That's an old update. Okay. So that storm should be going away in a moment here. So we'll follow the new one. So that storm with hail the size of golf balls possible, or ping pong balls, just to the west of Leonardville, and moving to the north-northeast, and that could produce hail the size of ping pong balls, I mentioned. All right, so it's going to go right across Highway 24 and start making its way into the northern part of Riley County. This is the storm up here. They're taking that into the northwest part of Washington County, and they say this one could have hail the size of a $half, about 1.25 inches in diameter. Again, none of this stuff is spinning. This is not tornado stuff. My concern for today has been if we saw any of those storms from western Kansas make it over here, that we could see some of that tornado risk make it over here as well. Look at some of the graphics here and see if I can show you some of that. All right, so there's what we have going on right now. Here's supercast the next couple of hours, and it shows these storms continuing to build north and east, and we will stay in thunderstorms until the middle of the night, and then we'll catch kind of a break before it starts to form again tomorrow in the heat of the afternoon. Tomorrow's by far the higher risk of seeing rotating storms and tornadoes over here. This map, the numbers all show the temperature. These red lines on here show dew points that are 60 degrees or higher. You'll see a bullseye there, the highest numbers, and an axis here. See, it there's kind of a hill here. We call it an axis of moisture there, where it kind of points up here almost kind of to the west of Concordia, more toward Beloit. So those are the highest moisture numbers, the highest dew points in that. Now, if you go back here where we run the red lines, we run the black lines. Look how close these lines are packed together. Those are individual lines of dew point. So this last red one's going to be 60, 59, 58, 57, 56. It drops off real fast in that dew point as you go farther to the west. So where you see the dew points go from, wow, that's super humid, to really dry over a short distance, that's called the dry line. So dry lines, when the jet stream is just right, and you have enough moisture right ahead of it, they tend to set off supercell storms. Some days, if conditions are right, they're just kind of neat. They're just, wow, the humidity went away quickly. What you have there is the air coming from the desert southwest, meeting up with this air mass coming straight from the Gulf. So higher humidity here. But that contrast in air masses with heat of the afternoon, with jet stream the position it's in today, with the trough, the jet stream level, strong jet stream winds, all those, that made these storms produce tornadoes today. Tomorrow, that setup is over here. So tomorrow the dry line is going to be over northeast Kansas. I'm going to have to check out the computer models that come out in a few minutes and see where the latest projections are for the position of that dry line, because tomorrow could be a tornado day for us Tonight, this does not look like a tornado threat around here. The only threat would have been, for that would have been if the stuff from western Kansas stayed strong well past sunset and continued to move up here. Sometimes that happens, not usually, but it's something you got to watch for. Check this out. There's a wind gust right now, 58 miles per hour in Concordia. That's the latest wind gust report there in Concordia at Blosser Airport. So we had that severe storm whipping by, so that's why the wind is so strong there. Out in western Kansas, a few spots are gusting close to 60 miles per hour as well. So tonight we'll see scattered storms, some of them severe, lows tonight in the low 60s, and then tomorrow we'll see this risk of severe weather in the afternoon and evening. That's going to be the highest likelihood of seeing that will be tomorrow in the afternoon and evening hours. Again, I do expect to see severe weather tomorrow in the afternoon around here. That's a very high likelihood. And I'm going to see if this latest computer model is starting to come in here, and if it is, then I'll just share it with you here on the live stream. Actually, let me bring up the radar here for you first and leave it up so you can see where the warnings are. And then I'll bring up this feed of the computer model so you can see it as I see it. You'll see it at the same time that I do here. All right, so they're the actual active warnings. And I have multiple radar sites on there, so now I'll crop it down a little bit. Now let's put that into motion so you can see where they're going. Okay. So again, what I'm concerned about is tomorrow afternoon and evening, we will start to see more severe weather popping up in our area. We will have the dry line likely setting up really kind of right on top of northeast Kansas. Has been how the computer models have been showing it. And this should be pretty close to ready now. There we go. All right, let me see if this will give me the whole screen here, what it does. All right, bear with me here while I try to get this loaded for you. There we go. Okay, let's put this over there, and we'll talk about that too. So here's what we got. And this is the computer model just coming out. This is the HRRR model. It's a high resolution rapid update. So what you've got right there is 7 p.m. tomorrow, 8 p.m. tomorrow, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Let's go back to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This thing wants to initiate storms by 1 p.m. That would be surprising. So let's just see if it's got them continuing till 1. Yeah, it's not the stuff from today, or from tonight. It has them developing by 1 p.m. So that would be unusual. Let's check out the significant tornado parameters. This next thing is going to be that I'm pulling up here. The significant tornado parameters sometimes will come down once the rain starts. So you see that big area, it's kind of blank over northeast Kansas here. So this, if we get rain that develops that early, if we really get thunderstorms start developing by noon or 1, it won't be warm enough at that point to get the wild severe weather going. So that would be great. Let's check out the 2 points where the dry line will be at that point. So here is that map of moisture content. So here we go. This is going to be, there's 1 p.m. right there. And you can see this drop off here from a dew point there of 68, and that drops off down into the 50s once you get past Salina. So this axis of 60s and 70s dew point and the axis being where it points up here, kind of a hill of higher values. In western Kansas, dew points in the 30s, in the 20s in western Texas. So that's the dry line position tomorrow. So if we get storms popping up as early as noon or 1, then our problems won't be as rough tomorrow. So that would be wonderful if that's how it plays out. All right, let's see if the other models are coming in yet. Probably not. That one I just showed you tends to come in far before the other ones. So yeah, I don't have anything yet on these other ones. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be more fortunate tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, so either way, Bridge, can you still hear me? Yeah, my IFB just died. That's fine. I can change the battery in this. Just went completely out. All right, so right now what we have are 2 different severe storm warnings in northeast Kansas that include parts of the WIBW viewing region, and then several areas that are just downpours of rain. So I'm going to go about 10 more minutes here on the live stream, then we'll wrap this up and get ready for 13 News at 10, which actually should air a couple of minutes late because golf ran a few minutes late today, of course. All right, so there's the view of the radar there in Wabaunsee County with very heavy rain. We have the severe storm warning right there that includes the northwest part of Pottawatomie County, the southwest part of Marshall County. Goes till 9 p.m. with hail the size of a ping pong ball. And the biggest of the hail with that is just across, just north of Leonardville, and past Highway 24 at this point, and moving to the northeast. Probably will go just north of Randolph, so it will go across Highway 77 here in the next few minutes. And that warning goes till 9, again for hail the size of a ping pong ball. This part of the warning over here goes till 8:45, is for the same bucket of hail right there. And that should that's going to expire in a couple minutes, if not be canceled early. This storm near Cuba has hail about the size of a $50, and it's moving to the northeast toward the town of Haddam. And it also has possibility of winds to 60 miles per hour. In western Kansas, we have 1 tornado warning there, I see. And let's see what's up with this one real quick. And then I'll wrap up the live stream here and get ready for 13 News at 10. So right there you have a Doppler radar indicated tornado. Looks like just west of Great Bend. And Hoisington, I'll never forget the name of Hoisington. That's if you're not familiar with that, they had an F4 tornado. It was 2001 or 2002. And if you don't know that story, the prom was going on, and they had all this damage in town, and thankfully the building where they had the prom was not hit. That could have been a huge, huge disaster. But yeah, the town of Hoisington is one that I will never forget the name of that town. That was a scary night, and thankfully, like I said, thankfully it did not hit that particular building. But that storm is a Doppler radar indicated tornado just southwest of Great Bend. And let's see what the Weather Service says about this dude. All right, southwest Barton County till 9. Radar indicated tornado near Pawnee Rock, or 8 miles west of Great Bend, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. So that's that one. So over here we have nothing of the sort. Let's see if anybody down south in Oklahoma or Texas is dealing with anything too wild at this point. This storm has a confirmed tornado with it. Let's check it out. So this thing has not been moving very fast. We checked on this one a few minutes ago, and it was still in the town of Lipan then. So we got baseball-sized hail, confirmed tornado, and the tails on this. Let's see what we've got. 8:26 p.m. That's a while ago. Was the last time they had an update on this from the Weather Service. Particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Let's see if we've got anything on the correlation coefficient for debris. And sometimes I look at stuff like this. It's not. I look at this stuff often when I'm not showing it on the stream or on TV because I'm practicing. I mean, a lot of times I'm just making sure the systems are working the way that I want them to. But I'll just show this to you as well right now since I would be doing this off air anyway. So the confirmed tornado there. I'm looking for debris in there. I don't see debris all that well from that particular radar. Let's see. I don't think I have DFW on this one. No, I don't. Okay. Let's check out the velocity on it. Oh yeah, look at that. My gosh. And that radar, that's not the closest radar to it. So that's a really nasty storm. Yeah, I don't have the Dallas, Texas radar located in there, loaded in, or I would show that to you. Okay, so around northeast Kansas, nothing of the sort. Confirmed tornado stuff, that's all down south and out west. The risk we saw of tornadoes today was really focused out in western Kansas along the dry line, and it's still there. My concern was, and I'm not going to take my eye off it, my concern was and still would be that if these storms to the west were to stay severe late into the night and get over here, if a low-level jet stream can kick those things into gear late tonight, we still could have dangerous storms in our area. So I would appreciate it if you would watch 13 News at 10. I'll give you my latest update on what I think about this, but I'm also going to look at it right here and tell you what I think too. The computer models really show this stuff out west falling apart before it gets here. And then it reignites tomorrow. And the computer model wants to have these storms pop up closer to noon. The earlier the storms pop up, the better. If it waits until 4 p.m., there'd be more heat energy and the storms would be worse. So if we get thunderstorms going at noon tomorrow, that's not going to be that should not be as big of a problem. But if it waits until later and the dry line is farther west, then we could have a mess here. So, but for right now, the worst things we have going are this severe storm warning right there. That is for Marshall, Pottawatomie, and Riley counties, and that goes till 9 p.m. for hail about the size of a $50. And I'm going to see if it's even that big at this point. And it may not even be that large. Yeah, now we're getting down to the grays. Okay, so around Randolph, you may see hail the size of a quarter. You can see here as we go back a few minutes, the hail was that blue color right here. That's when it's much bigger. And as we go forward in time, it goes down the scale into the grays. So Randolph, you're going to get some winds of 50 or 60 miles per hour, and the hail could be maybe the size of a quarter, probably not even that big. Haddam, you have the storm coming from the Cuba area, and it has hail that might be the size of a quarter, probably not that big. And Morrowville could see some of that as well, but again, this is not a high-end severe weather situation, but you do want to stay inside while it passes by. For other areas like Topeka, we're going to see some lightning, thunder, and some rounds of heavy rain getting in, most likely within the next hour. So during 13 News at 10, we'll almost surely have some thunder and lightning going on in the capital city, in and around town. So we'll have that to show in the tower cameras on the 10 p.m. news. Down to the south, Emporia, your warning is now gone. And the stuff that's in northeast Kansas is really continuing to show. It's still going to be thunderstorms, and we still could see hail the size of a quarter out of some of the worst of this. But there's really no risk of seeing any tornadoes in that stuff. I promise you, I'll be watching every single one of these guys over here just in case any of that storm activity stays strong as it gets our way. That stuff is supposed to weaken as the night goes on. But if we were to have anything dangerous tonight, it's not the activity you have in place now. If we were to have anything high-end, severe, wild, it would be from those storms out to the west. And I'm telling you, that's very unlikely to happen at this point. So, my friends, thank you for checking in here on the live stream. It's a little different tonight. It's, covering as best we can, but it's just me tonight. That's not a problem. I'm not complaining. But the audio didn't work earlier. That was me learning that. And I'm doing some new things with the cameras here, you may notice. But again, this is not a tornado situation for us at all from what I see. I'm still watching this stuff out to west just in case. Tonight on 13 News at 10, I will share with you my latest thoughts on the storms for tomorrow, and I'll have an update on social media and the website as well to let you know what's going on with that. But there's still a risk of seeing tornadoes in our area tomorrow. It really depends on where this dry line sets up. And the whole thing for forecasting tomorrow, the whole thing that makes it difficult, it's late in the game to say tomorrow's hard to forecast. The whole reason tomorrow is harder to project here is we have to wait to see where this stuff falls apart tonight. So after the stuff here to the west falls apart, if it does, then we have a really good idea of, okay, here's the dry line's going to set up tomorrow. And here's what time it's likely to fire off. But the latest HRR model was showing it developing around noon, and the earlier the storms develop, the better. So either way, just check back with us in 13 News at 10. I'll have an update there a few minutes after 10 when the show starts. And then please just be weather aware tomorrow, wherever you are. Make sure that you're paying attention to the weather conditions. Make sure you have the WIBW weather app downloaded to your phone. If you haven't checked out Weather Call yet, I still encourage you to do that. It's on WIBW.com on the weather page, or you can, I'll have the icons tonight on 13 News. You can take it from there, but the weather page is an easy place to get it as well. But again, tomorrow we still have a risk of seeing tornadoes in the area, and just not comfortable with saying that there wouldn't be. So, but tonight, this stuff that's moving through right now, this is just thunderstorms. Again, some hail the size of a quarter possible around Randolph and up to the northwest corner of Washington County, and I'm watching these things over here. All right, I'm going to shut down the live stream, and I will see you on 13 News at 10. Again, thanks for checking in here on the live stream.